trouble in Trimble. Trimble Local School District Superintendent John Hurd resigns as the district faces severe debt.
Plus,
we're lawmakers. We should be legislating.
President Donald Trump's rescission package divides lawmakers as the deadline to pass the bill looms.
And President Trump slams his base over calls for transparency about the Epstein files. Newswatch starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Abigail Semple.
And I'm Talia Milowich. Welcome to Newswatch.
We've had our share of thunderstorms today.
To see if they'll stick around tonight, let's hear it from forecaster Steve Nedlick.
Yeah, guys, it's definitely been a stormy day today, and we've just had another line of storms move through our area, and we're not really going to see an end in sight until the sun goes down tonight. We can really see which areas have been impacted the most. I mean, up near Columbus, we've already started to see temperatures dip down a little bit. Right now, we're still at 86, but we'll see the same thing if we keep getting all this rain. It's going to cool that air off as we head into tonight. We'll have an overnight low of 73. And again, once that sun goes down, we'll start to see these storms taper off in severity, but we really can't rule out any passing showers as the night goes on tonight. So if you have any evening plans, make sure you grab a rain jacket or umbrella as you head out the door. And then if we look into the next few days, that everyday rain is just going to stick around. It's going to be the tail of our whole week, and that is going to cause us to have some morning fog. So if you're heading out the door early in the morning, make sure you give yourself a few extra minutes because the roadways could be a little hard to see on. And then we're just going to have this muggy air kind of situated over our region for the next 5, 6, 7 days. So we'll be watching that as we head into the rest of the week. But stay tuned for my full forecast where we see what this rain does for the rest of the week.
Trimble Superintendent John Hurd has resigned.
The Board of Education convened for a special meeting and named Lindy Douglas the interim superintendent. In his resignation letter, Hurd cited his concerns with board interference, financial management, and ethical breaches. This comes as the district is in fiscal emergency and faces a potential deficit of $11 million by 2029.
Hurd pointed to the board's failure to act on staffing cuts, as well as failing to restructure food service, allegedly costing the district $300,000. The board named Lindy Douglas the interim superintendent, reporting for Newswatch. Ohio Senator John Husted has raised almost $3 million in cash for his 2026 re-election campaign. Husted's only been in the Senate for a short time. Governor Mike DeWine appointed him to the Senate earlier this year to fill Vice President J.D. Vance's seat. Husted previously served in the Ohio State House and most recently as DeWine's lieutenant governor. Back in April, President Donald Trump endorsed Husted in a post on Truth Social. As of now, he does not have an opponent for the 2026 race. If Husted wins, he will have to run for a full 6-year term in 2028.
The Senate is currently debating the rescission package, clawing back billions in pre-approved federal funding after a narrow vote advanced the package. The package will claw back nearly $9 billion in funding for foreign aid and public broadcast stations as part of the Department of Government Efficiency's efforts to reduce federal spending. The Senate started debating at 10 a.m. after barely passing a movement to advance the bill in a 51-50 vote late last night, with Vice President Vance casting the tie-breaking vote. Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska joined other top GOP senators in voting against the advancement.
We're lawmakers. We should be legislating. What we're getting now is a direction from the White House and being told, this is the priority. We want you to execute on it. We'll be back with you with another round. I don't accept that. I'm going to be voting no.
It is unclear when the Senate will vote to pass the package. Congress only has until Friday to send the bill to Trump's desk. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell will likely keep his job. Today, President Trump told reporters it's highly unlikely he will fire Powell. The announcement came despite Trump confirming he questioned lawmakers about possibly removing Powell.
He's doing a lousy job, but no, I'm not talking about that. Fortunately, we get to make a change in the next, 8 months or so. And we'll pick somebody that's good, and we'll pick somebody. I just want a fair job.
Trump has expressed frustration with Powell over the Fed not lowering interest rates. This comes as other lawmakers echo Trump's claims. Earlier this month, Senator Bernie Moreno called for Powell's resignation. Inflation ticked up in June for the first time since February. And with President Donald Trump threatening another round of tariffs, experts worry that prices could go up even more. Jen Sullivan breaks down what will cost you more and ways consumers can feel better about their wallet during times of economic uncertainty.
Shoppers are paying more for a variety of items. The latest Consumer Price Index report released Tuesday shows overall prices are 2.7% higher than a year ago and rose 0.3% last month. The CPI measures price changes month to month for everything from energy to housing costs.
It's probably one of the most telegraphed inflation increases that we've had.
Stephen Cates with Bankrate says these latest numbers show how President Donald Trump's tariffs are impacting prices. When you break down this latest report, the cost of many key categories has gone up. Shoppers are really feeling the price hikes at the grocery store.
There are certain things that we cannot grow in the U.S., and added costs to import those from other countries is going to hit the grocery stores and going to hit your wallet.
President Trump wants to add 30% tariffs on products from Mexico and the European Union. And while that will likely generate revenue for the U.S. economy, experts say consumers could see prices rise even more.
If we layer on new tariffs on top of them, that's going to be some added fuel to the fire.
So what can consumers do to try and scale back spending? Cook at home. The average price to eat at a restaurant has increased more than the average cost to eat at home, according to this latest report. Kate says growing your own savings can help you feel more positive during economic uncertainty.
People who are able to put a little bit of money away into a high-yield savings account, CDs, treasury bonds, you're getting a really healthy yield compared to where we were over the last, 15 years.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Despite retail inflation rising last month, wholesale level inflation, which affects producers instead of consumers, held relatively steady last month. The producer price index had little change from May to June, sitting at 2.3%. The PPI looks at the average change in prices that are paid to producers. It's often used as an indicator of potential price changes consumers may see in the months that follow. Some economists were likely surprised with the data. According to FactSet, many had expected prices would rise slightly and bring the annual rate to 2.5%.
President Donald Trump, Americans don't think President Donald Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill is very beautiful after all. Roughly 6 in 10 Americans say they're against the GOP domestic policy bill. A CNN poll conducted by SSRS says 51% of people believe the mega bill will damage the economy. 29% feel the opposite. The poll also shows 58% of people believe the Trump administration is slashing too many federal government programs. Some of President Trump's most loyal allies are dissatisfied with the decision to not release additional files from the Jeffrey Epstein case. Now, Trump is pushing back against them, saying he doesn't need their support anymore. Julia Benbrook is at the White House with the latest on the Epstein files controversy.
In a scathing Truth Social post, President Donald Trump accused some of his supporters of falling prey to a hoax, calling those who are questioning his administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files, quote, weaklings. He went as far as to say that he doesn't want their support anymore as the topic continues to divide his base.
Some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net.
Last week, the Department of Justice issued a memo that said Epstein had not been murdered in prison, nor did he have an incriminating client list, contradicting some of the conspiracy theories previously promoted by members of the Trump administration. The memo came months after Attorney General Pam Bondi hyped soon-to-be-released documents and suggested she had the so-called client list on her desk. She has since suggested she was referring to other documents. A growing number of Republicans are pushing for more transparency. On Tuesday, House Speaker Mike Johnson became the highest-ranking Republican to say he wants to see more details about the DOJ's investigation.
We need to put it out there. And Pam Bondi, I don't know, when she originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it, they were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody.
A CNN poll conducted after the memo's release shows that half of Americans are dissatisfied with the amount of information the federal government has released about the case. At the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Syrian officials and Druze religious minority leaders announced a tentative ceasefire.
This comes after Israel bombed Syria's capital, Damascus, over the weekend.
Over the weekend, reports spread of intense violence between the Druze community and Bedouin tribes in Suwaida, in the south, the Druze stronghold. Dozens were killed in the fighting. Syrian government forces were then deployed to the area as the violence ramped up. Islamist fighters aligned with Syria's government and also joined the fight.
That's when Israel got involved, launching strikes on those Syrian forces as they were en route to the region. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the strikes are to protect the Druze and is urging Israeli citizens to avoid the border.
Now, I have one request for you. You are citizens of Israel. Do not cross the border. You are endangering your lives. You could be killed. You could be kidnapped.
Israeli strikes continued after the ceasefire was announced. U.S. officials say the situation is worrisome.
Coming up, severe floods are becoming more frequent. What experts say about the increase.
And President Trump signs a bill taking a strong stance against fentanyl trafficking.
After a dry, sunny day, rain has jumped back into the forecast. Stay tuned to find out if we dry out anytime soon.
I think you need to brace yourself for this, sir. I get straight to the matter. Please do.
Is there anyone you didn't invite?
You're welcome.
I can't leave a puzzle unsolved any more than you can. But what happens if she's wrong?
She's been right about everything else. A man gets murdered, and seemingly impossibly, his murderer escapes.
Politics is all about knowing what hand to play and when to play it.
Sunday on WOUB.
For some of us, the struggle never ends.
I know he's not easy to work with, but now I need you to step up.
I'm not looking for one killer, but two.
You don't believe that a death can be transformational?
We're probably dealing with a psychopath.
We have to catch who's behind this.
You should have called me.
I did.
Yes, you did. I must have ignored it.
There's much about me that you don't know. It's quite the adventure. Shall we?
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
Flash flooding is in the spotlight this summer.
From Texas to North Carolina to the Northeast, record-breaking flood events have happened back-to-back across the country. Michael Yoshida joins us with more on what's behind the seemingly non-stop weather events that we've been seeing.
Experts say a combination of factors are contributing to the intense rainfall and deadly flooding that have hit areas across the country from the Texas Hill Country to New York City.
Heavy rain and deadly flash flooding putting communities across the United States underwater.
It feels like events like last night, again, not just in New Jersey, but as a general matter, are coming more frequently with more intensity.
Summer is flash flood season, when intense daytime heat can fuel thunderstorms and warm air can hold more moisture. But experts say these recent events were more significant for several reasons. Along with high daytime temperatures in parts of the country, we've also seen record levels of atmospheric moisture, which helped drive heavy rainfall that led to deadly flooding in Texas and North Carolina. Summer storms also tend to move more slowly or even stall due to winds in the upper atmosphere being weaker.
and as a result, just deluging places that are not designed to handle that amount of precipitation in that short a period of time.
Recent wildfires also causing problems in areas like Ruidoso, New Mexico, burning away vegetation, and in some areas the fire's extreme heat changing the soil's natural ability to absorb and slow down rainwater. Droughts can have a similar effect too, something we saw amplify deadly flooding in Texas. Urban areas are not immune either, where asphalt pavement and older drain systems can be overrun.
There is a growing recognition in financial markets, in the scientific community, and starting in infrastructure planning, that we are dealing with a much different beast in terms of the weather patterns that we're experiencing, and things have to change.
And more than 3,000 flash flood warnings have been issued this year so far by National Weather Service offices across the country. That's the highest total at this point in time in the year since the record started being taken back in 1986. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Now, speaking of floods, I know we had the flood in Wheeling last month and flooding in Hocking County earlier this month.
Yeah, it seems like with the Hocking River, there could be potential for flooding. What do you think?
Yeah, just with all this rain, it just can't handle that. And especially in Logan County, they had all that rain. And if we take a look at the radar right now, we have all that rain heading our way too. So we really can't rule out a possible flood advisory or a flash flood warning heading our way, at least over the next few days, just because we've already gotten 2 to 3 inches of rain this week so far, and it's only Wednesday. And if we take a look now, zooming out a little bit, they're kind of popping up these showers right on the Ohio border, and unlike they had in the past few days, they don't really seem like they're losing steam as the sun is going lower and lower in the sky, and they've kind of kept their steam going. So we're going to be watching for, again, potential flood advisories as we head later into the night if that rain picks up or continues to go the way it's going right now. Now, we don't have anything right now, but we have had some special weather statements, some severe thunderstorm watches. So we are going to be watching, especially along the Ohio River, along the Hocking River, for potential high water, just again, because we've already gotten about 3 inches of rain and it's only halfway through the week. So we'll be watching out for that. We can look here at the temperature map. It's really cooled off after what we've seen earlier in the day, just because of all that rain. When it falls, it cools off that air, and that's why Athens, we're at 75. Earlier today, we're in the low 90s, upper 80s. So that just goes to show you how quickly the temperatures can change. But even with these dropping temperatures, we still have so much humidity in our area just because it's being pulled up from the Gulf of Mexico. And the culprit of that is this high pressure system that's dropped right here to our south. And it's just pulling all this tropical feeling air. And that's why our real feels have been so high. And so even when we do get this rain and the air temperature is 75 degrees, it still feels pretty uncomfortable out there. And we're not going to get much of a change as we head into tomorrow. This cold front is going to slowly push its way into our region, so that's going to drop off the air temperatures, but it's going to give us more rain, more widespread rain this time, because it's going to be driven by this cold air, or cold as opposed to what we've been dealing with. It's still going to be in the mid 80s, so not much relief there. And then it's going to just stall out over our region once we get to Friday morning. So the widespread rain is going to come tomorrow into Friday morning. And then once we get to Friday evening, we are going to see this front move through our area, and that's when we should just start to see some pop-up showers, but it won't be as widespread Friday as it is on Thursday. Again, we're just going to be dealing with some widespread stuff on Thursday. The mugginess is not going to go anywhere, although it will not feel quite as hot just because we have that cold front moving through, and it's just going to be fueled by that daytime heating. So again, if we get more clouds in the area, it'll feel a little less hot and it won't feel those storms as much. Tonight, again, we have the chance of thunderstorms in our region and an overnight low of 73. And tomorrow, before that cold front gets here, it'll still jump up to the upper 80s and an overnight low of 69 degrees. And then if we take a look, we're not really going to cool off anytime soon from our heat temperature map. And then if we look at the 7-day, we're not really going to get much of a break from this rain for the next 7 days, although we are going to slowly cool off as we head into the weekend before another round of warm air hits us midway through next week.
Grills are one of the most common accidents we see.
Next on Newswatch, summer is the perfect time to break out your grill, but doctors say they can be more dangerous than you'd think.
Welcome to the age of humans. Our honeybees have become indispensable. Yet the honeybee is just one species.
Most bees are definitely not like honeybees.
And today, we're putting them, and maybe ourselves, in danger.
If bees are not thriving, that's a direct reflection on what our health will be.
This is the human footprint of bees.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
Regardless of your stage of life, whether you're starting your first job, getting the keys to a new home, or enjoying retirement, it's never too early or too late to create an estate plan to care for loved ones and support the causes that are meaningful to you. WOUB Public Media is pleased to have partnered with Giving Dogs, a free resource for building an estate plan that fits your needs and protects the people and causes you care about. Visit WOUB.org and click the support tab to get started today.
President Donald Trump is taking new steps in the fight against illegal fentanyl trafficking. Today, the president signed the Halt All Lethal Trafficking of Fentanyl Act into law. The law permanently classifies all fentanyl-related substances as Schedule 1 narcotics. Trump called it a righteous blow against drug traffickers and criminal cartels.
We'll be getting the drug dealers, pushers, and peddlers off our street, and we will not rest until we have ended the drug overdose epidemic. And it's been getting a little bit better, but it's horrible. It's horrible. We're going to end it once and for all.
The bill was backed by both Republicans and Democrats and also targets counterfeit versions of the drug. The bill reflects a major priority for Trump. He has cited illegal trafficking of fentanyl as a core reason for the tariff threats towards Canada, Mexico, and China.
2 of the top aides at the Health and Human Services Department were fired by Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, Jr. The agency's chief of staff and deputy chief of staff were both cut. One source said Kennedy lost confidence in them as members of his leadership team. The 2 had only been in the roles for a few months. There's yet to be word about permanent replacements. An HHS spokesperson says the agency's liaison to the White House will serve as acting chief of staff. A bigger chunk of your paycheck may be going towards healthcare costs next year. That's according to Mercer's survey on health and benefit strategies. The survey found more than half of employers say they plan to pass higher healthcare costs on to their workers. This means health insurance options could include higher deductibles or out-of-pocket maximums. The amount an employer spends on health benefits is expected to jump nearly 6% this year. This is after prices rose 4.5% last year.
Summer is the perfect time for barbecues, but before you fire up your grill, make sure you're taking the proper safety measures. Grilling can be dangerous, causing more injuries than you might think. Mandy Gaither has the details on the importance of grilling safety.
It's popular, especially this time of year. Grilling is a great way to cook a variety of foods, but it can also be dangerous. In 2022, an estimated 5,400 people were sent to emergency rooms for gas or charcoal grill-related injuries. It can also pose a risk of fire and carbon monoxide poisoning and causes 13 average yearly deaths, according to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission.
Grills are one of the most common accidents we see during the summer months.
Dr. Anna Palma-Mehta with the Burn Center at Brigham and Women's Hospital says July is the peak month for grilling-related injuries. She says she sees everything from minor burns to major ones.
People are mishandling the propane tank or pouring gasoline or lighter fluid directly into the grill, and they sort of have this back force of flame and fires.
Safety experts say only use grills outside in well-ventilated areas. Never use them indoors in a garage, breezeway, carport, porch, or under a surface that can burn. And check the grill and the gas hoses before use, searching for cracking, brittleness, holes, and leaks, and replace if necessary. And never leave a hot grill unattended. Keep children away. Mehta says she's had to treat little ones too.
Sometimes, they just kind of put their hands on the grill, burn their hands, different body parts.
Finally, clean your grill to prevent grease buildup, which can be a fire hazard as well. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If you like taking long walks outside to enjoy the summer weather, you're in luck. One study says increasing your walking speed could help reduce frailty. Adding 14 steps per minute resulted in improved mobility and endurance in frail older adults, which can help stave off physical and cognitive decline. To increase your speed, you can walk at your normal pace for 30 minutes and time it with a metronome. Once a rhythm has been set, you can gradually speed up. Still ahead, have you ever wanted to live like an all-star athlete? Well, now you can. Basketball Hall of Famer Michael Jordan's former mansion can now be rented out as an Airbnb.
The Ohio Art Corridor is a destination experience. We would like this to be the largest outdoor art gallery in the world.
Portsmouth was able to field an incredible team for a brief moment in the sun that almost was sweet enough to get them a national championship.
We got land granted to us in Ohio. Great opportunity. Let's go. How would you know you got here? It was just sheer determination and patience and just hard, back-breaking work.
The bridge was acclaimed at the time of being an engineering marvel.
Progress is all about taking the lessons of the past and doing better. So I would hope that now that we know better, we will do better.
Next time on The Great American Recipe.
We want to see more of the recipes you prepare for friends and family. It's holiday time.
Yeah, rock and roll, everyone.
I'm making seafood gumbo.
Bring the flavor. Woo! Friend, how's that skin looking? This looks good.
Gentle heat on the breast side.
Thank you, Chef.
This is banging.
Look at this feast.
I'm bringing the A game.
Friday at 9 on WOUB.
This is the moment that you've been waiting for.
On your marks, get set, go!
Discover extraordinary lost worlds.
I know scientists that would give their right arm for this.
This is heaven. Hope y'all ready.
You can now rent out NBA icon Michael Jordan's former mansion on Airbnb, but you'll need a $25,000 security deposit to do it. The Highland Park, Illinois property has 7 bedrooms, 17 and a half bathrooms, a movie theater, a gym, and much more. And of course, there's a basketball court. The mansion was on the market for 12 years before it was sold in December for a reported $9.5 million.
Now guys, I think I saw a golf course on there, but if you want to go golfing tonight, it's not going to be the night because we just have rain, rain, rain all up and down our forecast, so we'll be watching that as we head throughout the rest of the week.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. For Steve Nedlick, I'm Abigail Semple. Thanks for watching.
And I'm Talia Millage. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Good night.
Time is running out. The city will limit funding for your local PBS station, a vital resource to the community, keeping first responders connected in times of need.